What a win. What a win, Mets fans. How can you not be excited about this team? Griffin Canning stumbles out of the gate, giving up the early 2 runs, battled, ended up giving 4, one of his worst starts of the season. The bats were quiet. Soto gets us started with the home run to left field on the party deck. They battled, and you knew in the 8th inning this was going to be our shot coming up with Soto, who gets the clutch RBI double. And a lot of Met fans are sitting out there screaming and crying and bitching and moaning that he should have been on third base. At the end of the day, he came up clutch. A lot of topspin on that ball. So many people out there saying, well, Ray, that should have been an out. The guy misjudged it. So what? That is baseball. A hard hit ball right off the bat. And then you follow it up. Pete Alonso getting thrown out at second base. A close, bang, bang play, but the clutch RBI hit. And shout out for the third base coach, who I typically get on a lot on this channel. I'll tell you that, a ton. But let's be honest, he was yelling at Soto because he knew it was going to be a bang, bang play at second. And it would have been such an old school Mets thing for Pete to get thrown out over at second base before Soto hit home plate. Then we go to the top of the ninth, Edwin Diaz, who, let's be honest, people, nobody likes him in a non-safe situation, especially yours truly, but he was lights out. The stadium crowd was going nuts tonight. 1, 2, 3. You had Reed Garrett come in. The guy started on second base. He held his own. And then this is why what we spoke about yesterday in the off day, for any of you guys who missed it, in the off day, we spoke about why Luis Angel Acuna is on this roster, and it's for perfect situations just like this one. You knew the crack of the bat from Jeff McNeil, and shout out to McNeil, who's quietly having a pretty damn good June and a good May, late of May. And he's just playing a role. I will leave him exactly where he's at, but you and I, everybody in the ballpark knew Jeff McNeil was swinging first pitch. The guy always swings first pitch, but he came through in the clutch, wasn't really even to play. And this team wins after you heard it live on the broadcast. Gary Cohen stated the Phillies lost today, so we gained another game in the standings after they won on the off day. So I believe it's going to be 5 games. We're going to wake up tomorrow in the standings, and I appreciate everybody coming to the post-game show. It is just myself tonight. If you're enjoying this, like and subscribe. And I want to let you guys know, we have teamed up with James over from Mets Coverage over on Instagram. The link is in the description. We are giving away 2 tickets to this Friday night game. So if you want to get in on that, get your best shot, all you got to do is click that link, follow him and us on Instagram, tag a friend or two, and you are entered if you want to get in on some free tickets to this Friday's game. And guys, this team, I tweeted out during the game, never say die Mets. You can't with the top of this lineup. Lindor didn't do much, but Soto is here. And I got a gripe to pick before I get to so many of you guys in the comments. I appreciate your comments. I'll get to a ton of them. Shout out to the people hanging out with us over on Instagram. I want to get to some comments that were made yesterday by Danielle McCartan, a friend of the show, but saying that Juan Soto's not back. Is Juan Soto not back? You knew he was getting a hit in the ninth. I felt it. And that's probably the first time all year, in the eighth, excuse me, first time all year where I said, you know what? I am confident with Juan Soto at the plate. You saw it. And you know what? I know Ron was talking about it on the broadcast about, well, when Juan Soto's jogging the bases, he's staring at the pitcher, that's not screw that. I want Juan Soto staring at every pitcher, shuffling at every pitch. That is the Juan Soto, the nostalgia, the passion, the leadership he's going to bring to this team. And that kind of emotions is going to rub off on the other players. You're finally seeing Soto get comfortable in a New York Mets uniform. And I give a lot of props. I've talked with so many Met fans who I know personally in the past booed Lindor, booed the Javier Baez, and I said you cannot boo Soto. We've been behind this guy for so long, and Pete Alonso continues to be clutch. And dare I say, Jeff McNeil finally molding into that fifth hitter that we've been so desperate for. Let me get to some of your guys' comments. Appreciate you guys checking in. Ramon checking in over on X. McNeil, big hit by Jeff McNeil. Huge. I was hoping, I think a lot of what you guys were hoping, just don't pop the ball up. Get the runner over. Washington was playing for a bunt there, which I'm not totally surprised, but I thought McNeil would have tried to swing for the fences, but nice line drive for the hit, was not even a play at home plate. Peter says Soto has finally started getting comfortable, and that's what's going to elevate both him and Alonso. And I think it's going to elevate a lot of other people. It's funny. I was talking to an MLB insider, a Mets insider 2 nights ago, and I said, although Soto hasn't been crazy dominant, what else has he done? And he said he's never seen a player like Soto who's constantly talking hitting with the other players on the team. This is what this guy likes to throw in this count. This is how I would approach this at bat. This is where I would hold my hands. This is what I'd be looking for in this count. He brings all of that with him, all of that knowledge with him. And that's why we need this three-headed monster. And Sal Licata, who I get on a lot over at WFAN, had a great point through this week. He said, let's be honest, my fans. Lindor, Alonso, Soto. In 5 or 6 years, we may be looking at them as the greatest players to ever don a New York Mets uniform, position players. Because Strawberry came and left. You know, guys like that came and left. Hernandez was a Cardinal. Wright had the injuries. We may be looking at that in this time, so we got to enjoy it while we have it. Stay hot. Got to take the series against Washington. Klub, what's going on? City Field looked electric. You know what? My friend James, who we're doing that giveaway with, told me he might be able to come on the post-game live, but he always seems to say that, but then he likes to go out and party after the games. He is there. It is electric, and it's something that Keith Hernandez stressed during Sunday's game, saying when he comes home, he wants us to have that Colorado Rocky weekend crowd, that great crowd they had during the week. And we've proven it time and time again. Steve Cohen knows it. When this team is winning and has nostalgia, plays with that passion, that New York grit, dare I say that, we're going to come out and show. And what was so great about tonight's win, how many times has the pitching carried us to these victories? The early season, the 2-1s, the 3-2s, the 4-2s, where we're sitting here and you and me both, you know, I'm talking to you through the camera, but you and me both thought the Mets weren't going to score a run. We'd be lucky to scratch one out. We got our run. Someone's got to scratch it out. The weather's getting warmer. The team is getting confident. Players are stepping up where they need to step up. I want to see a long run of Ronnie Mauricio on this team. I hope the Mets give him that. I wasn't a fan of bringing the guy in the 8th inning. I thought the Mets were punting this game. I tweeted that out. But I'm glad we stuck around because let's be honest, he hasn't pitched in the big leagues in 3 years. And the last time he did, he had like a 4.79 ERA. Zach, what's going on? Yo, 19 games over 500, and it is June 10th. Big meet, Pete. Absolutely, Zach. Appreciate you checking in. Elvin, what's going on, brother? MVP is an RBI producing machine. Yup. And it starts with the guys that are in front of him. This offseason, Pete Alonso is going to look around the major leagues, and he's one of those guys who seems to value winning so much. You're going to go to him and say, listen, you have Lindor, probably Nimmo, and Soto in front of you. Odds of you coming up with a guy on base is like over 50%. You have the potential to go down as one of the all-time great New York Mets as he chases that Strawberry record. Frankie checking in over on Facebook. Let's go, Mets. Absolutely. Nicholas, dude, when the hell did this team come from? Wow. We've been here all year. Nick, bro, we've been here all year. We've been breaking it down on this podcast all year long, talking to our insiders, having them on our show. We've been here. It's just patience. Baseball's a roller coaster, even for the great teams. And we have been told that how tough our division was. Let's be honest, coming into the season, the Phillies were better. The Braves were better. The New York Mets, they'll be fighting for a third wild card. F that. This is our division to take right now. Sean Manaea, another rehab start tonight, gave up no runs in over a few innings. He's working his way back. I'm not worried about Griffin Canning. He looked a little up and down, but let's be honest. His ERA is still in the low threes, like a 3.22. Sangu, we still got him. We got a lot of guys. And the future, we're getting reinforcements when we don't even need them. Paul Blackburn, who goes 5 and gives up 0 runs to the Dodgers. We're talking about him coming out of the bullpen. And let's be honest, I tweeted this out when it happened. I said, we're getting a guy from Minnesota who's got a 5.5 ERA as a lefty. But I said, watch David Stearns going to turn this guy into a stud. And that's what Castillo has been. I don't want to say that, Rels. Beatty's a waste of a bat. Let's keep some positivity in the chat, Rels. There's plenty of time for negativity. That's what happens when you have young players. They are up and down. Nobody was saying that about Acuna in the offseason except for me, and I got roasted. I said I didn't love Acuna's bat. Now the guy's got a sub 400 OPS over the last month and a half. Just is what it is. Yes, it is. It will be 5 games above Philly, and we have some crazy series coming up with these guys. Just happy, Jeff. We got Washington and we got Tampa. I'm going to try to be there over the weekend. If you guys are there over the weekend and I'm there, feel free to come by, say hello. Love to take a photograph, post it over on X and over on Instagram. Again, we do have that New York Mets ticket giveaway. Us and Mets coverage are giving away 2 great tickets to this Friday night's game. Links in the description. Stephen A, let's go Mets, baby. Woo! Let's effing go Mets. Soto, baby, finally. Let me know, maybe you guys think I'm nuts in the chat. Let me know. I felt that hit coming. I thought it might have been a home run, but he has that approach. And one thing that is awesome to see, the home run against the lefty, the clutch hit against the lefty. Doesn't matter what you do with Soto. That's why I'm not afraid of having a Brandon Nimmo who's a lefty in front of Juan Soto. Doesn't matter to me. Really doesn't. Beatty stays. That's what Elvin says. I hear Soto is back, baby. You know what's wild? A lot of people don't talk about this. Soto had a bunch of up and downs during last year. He did. Even with the Yankees, he had a month. It just didn't come right at the beginning. That's what it's about. It was not right at the beginning. And shout out to Edwin Diaz, man. What a shutdown inning. Something special is going on here, Ray, from Vincent. Vincent, where the hell have you been? We've been saying it all game. All game. Let's see. Some people are on spaces, post games, going all over the place, but we've been here all year. All year. We took the season series from the Dodgers, and you have Met fans complaining still about it. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. Soto is starting to percolate. Percolate. What do you want now? I'm happier about the home run. Lefty, lefty. You know what we always say, boys and girls? Soto, when he is right, what's the first thing he does? He starts going the opposite way with the fastball. He's got tremendous power out there. He knew he got it. And then on breaking balls, he pulls them to right field. That's what he does. Liz says he's just getting warmed up. You will see him back shuffling, staring, nodding his head, and bringing in those runs and increasing his home runs. I'm not worried. I always said I'm not going to say I never said. I said, I was a little worried. I think you will get him, but when is it going to happen? And we're finally starting to see it. Him hitting the home run, staring at the pitcher the entire time going around the diamond. You're a rookie. You're going to get that. Soto's out there. He knows the mind games, the way to intimidate guys. That's what it's all about. Need consistency in this lineup. Need to keep Beatty in daily. That's another thing, too, that nobody wants to talk about, ACJ. That's a good point. You got to give guys consistent at-bats. You can't have Acuna in at second, Beatty not hitting it all. The next game he's in, Acuna's at third, Mauricio's out, playing musical chairs. I've never been a fan of that. I've always liked when guys have consistency. I'm trying to remember who it was. There was a famous baseball player who played for the Mets. He said, I always knew I liked coming to the ballpark knowing that I was penciled. It might have been Cliff Floyd, penciled in at the 5 spot. He might have been the guy who said that. But some guys are like that. They're creatures of habit, if you know what I mean. Liz says, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's coming, guys. Exciting times to be a Mets fan. Absolutely. And even more exciting times. You got David Wright being retired shortly. You got Father's Day coming up in the home game this Sunday. A lot of great things. And you had the feeling they were going to be coming back. Jeffrey over on Facebook, great win. Let's see if we got anything going on over on Instagram before I get back to your guys' comments. MLB is glitching and the real app is glitching, but we won. Let's go. I didn't have any issues with my app. I had the app open the entire game. That's what I use. Maddie, what's going on over there? What's up? Hope all is well with you. Big win for our Mets tonight. Let's get to some more of these comments before we call it a night, because I got to be up very early, but we'll probably be back again tomorrow night with another Mets post game. Hopefully another win. Tim says, what a walk-off for the Mets tonight. Let's effing go Mets. Craig, Phillies lost and Braves 2 outs from losing as well. That's great to hear. And let's be honest, Washington's in front of Atlanta right now in the standings. So that's all around. It'd be a great night for the New York Mets. Let's see what we got going on here. Noreen says, love this team. How can you not? How can you not? Jesus says, Soto is a beast. What's going on? Let's see, Wayne. When does David Stearns get a bronze statue outside his Citi Field? It is incredible how fast he's transformed the Mets. That's what it's funny when you compare the sports. Football is all about who's your head coach. Bill Belichick won for years. Mike Tomlin, all the big head coaches, you know who they are. Baseball is about front offices. Tampa Bay, great front office for years, win for year. They're second place while they're intentionally trying to lose this year. They just have something right with their front office. Baseball is about front offices. NBA, it doesn't matter who your head coach is. Let's be honest. I know the Knicks fans with Tom Thibodeau right now, but it doesn't. You have first-time head coaches that win all the time in the NBA. Tyronn Lue a couple of years back with LeBron James. I mean, it just happens. Let's see. Ray, does Mark Vientos go to AAA and stay if he continue? No, I don't think that. I mean, he was already at Citi Field. Was it at Citi Field today? I'm trying to remember. I saw him taking ground balls. He's ahead of time. Vincent said, Ray, does Pete still get credit for a hit if that last at bat, even though you got thrown? Yes, he'll be credited for a single, and then he'll be the outfielder will get an outfield assist being thrown out at second base. So that does credit him with a single. It's on the advancing base. So yes, he will technically get a single. And I think he needs to stay there and just fix it. ACJ, Zach, that's in regard to Mark Vientos. But guys, thanks so much for sticking around with this post game. If you're enjoying it, give us a thumbs up. We'll be back tomorrow with another post game. I'm sure Dan might be with me. I'm not totally sure, but thanks so much for sticking around. And as always, let's go Mets, baby. What a walk-off win. See you all tomorrow. Peace.